The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Super excited to have Joe Keery from Stranger Things on with us right now. And you also don't know, maybe you do know about his music under the artist name Joe. End of Beginning. We're going to play that song afterward. Very Chicago. He's really an adopted Chicagoan going to DePaul, but we'll talk about that in a second. First, I want to bring him up. And, you know, Joe, me and my wife bonded huge. We're together, basically, because of you.
You're kidding me. That's amazing, man.
I'm not. I remember vividly, if I think back to you think about with someone you're dating or someone you're with, and the first things you remember, and it's probably not a typical thing, but that was it. Binging Stranger Things of her coming over to my apartment, and then it was like, wow, she's staying the whole day.
Wow, that's cool that I get to be a little part of the beginning of your relationship like that. And also congrats, man, on the kid. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been together like 6 years now, and the kid's 15 months old, and we're just patiently waiting for that next season. But it just is the memory. So I was really excited to talk to you today, just to say that to you, that part of it. You might be responsible for my child.
Well, I'll take it. Okay, I'll take it. I played a part. Okay, I'll take it.
So if you're listening, he played Steve Harrington, Joe has on Stranger Things. But like a lot of people may not know this, but you came to school here. You went to DePaul Theater School, which is right down the street from actually where I live right now. And it's an amazing school, but really cool Chicago connection. And that leads to the End of Beginning song, which has just extremely blown up lately through TikTok and reels of people using it. And the lyric of the song of "When I'm back in Chicago, I feel it, another version of me. I was in it. I waved goodbye to the end of beginning." That can be powerful on so many levels, those lyrics. I'm just curious what you were thinking when you wrote this song and those lyrics.
Yeah, sure. I had the kind of instrumental for this song for a while and was sort of trying to find the right lyric for it. And it was really kind of just inspired by, the various trips. I had moved away from Chicago to start filming Stranger Things and was living down kind of in Atlanta. I was living out in LA for a while. And every time I would come back to Chicago, the smell of the city and going back to the places that I used to go, to my haunts and seeing friends. And, I think everybody has a experience when you kind of go back to those things or a different time in your life and you're immediately brought back and kind of reminded of who you were and, your problems at the time that you thought were, these massive problems, and they seem so small. So just and about the end of beginning steps of your life into becoming an adult. So that's kind of was the inspiration behind the song, and then everything else kind of fell into place from there.
It's so cool how you say that because, we live here, obviously, and when we go away on a vacation or leave town, you come back, it is like the smell. And I'm not saying it's a bad smell. I'm saying that whatever the vibe when you come into Chicago, you feel it when you're home. And even though you didn't grow up here that time at DePaul, your time after that, too, when you were in shows like Chicago Fire, which I love that show, getting your start in acting, there's just something about this city that has some electricity to it, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I agree. I really do agree. I think it's, and especially for me, coming when I did as a young adult and kind of experiencing what I experienced there, it was so formative to me. And I didn't grow up there, but I did a lot of growing there. So yeah, it's a very important place for me, and will always, I think, play a part in my life, probably forever, which is something that I think is so special.
Yeah, especially about music. When you mentioned old haunts when you came back and saw friends, what were some of those old haunts? Were they in the DePaul area or anywhere in the city?
Oh, kind of all over. I lived uptown for a while, go to Green Mill occasionally.
Yeah.
I loved that place. I lived kind of on the west side by Humboldt Park. Go to this place, Best Intentions. There's this great cafe, Lula Cafe in Logan I would go to. Kind of all over, and sort of they would change. But it's funny, every time I walk around, especially when if I'm walking around like Lincoln Park where I went to school, it's kind of like just a blast from the past. Things have changed, but really, you see students walking around with their backpack on, and it's that was me. So it's really cool and something that I like to do when I'm there.
When did you kind of get the vibe that this song, which is a couple years old, End of Beginning, from you, when it took off, obviously on TikTok and Reels and people using it in a lot of ways? What did anybody reach out to you and say, hey, everybody's doing stuff with this song that's wild on social media. Is that how it happened, or did you just discover it yourself by just saying, hey, that's a cool thing people are doing with the song?
Yeah, my main partner in the project, Adam Tenine, and his wife Caroline is actually a librarian. So she's so good at cataloging things. I think she was the one who really first noticed and kind of made me and Adam aware. We were keeping tabs on it from there. But yeah, it's been really cool and completely kind of out of our control. It's really taken a life of its own. So cool that people have been able to. Obviously, people from Chicago have used the song, but then it's kind of applied to people in other cities kind of feeling nostalgic or a different way about a different place that they grew up. So having, written something and then kind of having it connect with people in that way and then sharing it in that way is a unique experience for me. And it's just a really cool thing to be a part of. So I'm just kind of grateful people are tapping into the meaning of the song and connecting with that. That's like kind of what you hope for when you write music. So yeah, feeling pretty lucky about that.
Is this it for Stranger Things season 5? Are we going to get is there some kind of final conclusion here? I don't know what you can let out or what you can talk about, but
I wish I could say anything, but if I misstep, then who knows what will happen? Then I'll be they'll send me to the real upside down and I'll never leave. So I have to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. I don't want to get you canceled to the upside down. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to be there either.
No. I love the show and I love the song, love your music, and I really love this connection you have in Chicago. You're right in my old neighborhood there. It's still a neighborhood. You're not far from me. I want to let you know you have an open invitation here at Q101. Next time you come and sneak into town to hang out, go to the Green Mill.
I'll take you up on that. We can have a cup of coffee.
I'd like that. Joe, thanks so much. It was really an honor talking to you.
You too, man. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, how cool was that to have Joe Keery on here? Like I said, I'm a super fan, even though I'm a little behind on it. I'm kind of saving the last season till when 2025 comes on. I can watch it right into the next season because there's been so much gap in the seasons of Stranger Things.
That is a good move, but you're missing out.
I know.
Sounds like you already got a day date set up. So.
I love the guy. I love him. Yep.
Yeah.
Get together, go to the Green Mill.
There you go.
That sounds good. So here's the song in case you're looking for it. So it's Joe, DJO is how it is. And this is Joe Keery from Stranger Things, his project. And just really sit back and listen to this dreamy song about Chicago. End of beginning. It is Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.